When I was growing up, I was the youngest of 3 kids. Now, any younger sibling out there immediately understands that this involves a lot of sharing, and video games were no different. As a result, there are a lot of games from my childhood that I never really got a chance to properly enjoy, either because the game itself belonged to one of my brothers, or because I had to wait my turn to use the console because it belonged to the family. Unfortunately, most of those games are lost to me now, but there was always one game that stuck out for one reason or another. And thanks to the magic of the internet, I was able to track down a copy of that game. So I figured, let's take a look at a humble little game known simply as Dragon Seeds. I don't have the box.
And man, am I missing out. Just look at this box art. You got this dragon, this circle thing, this circle thing. Clearly, we are in for an adventure. Dragon Seeds was a game developed for the PlayStation 1 in 1998 by a company responsible for developing, quite honestly, a pretty remarkable volume of games, even if I haven't heard of, any of them. Most of their more popular titles were developed for the NES and the Super Nintendo, such as the games Totally Rad and Tough Enough. Oh, and look, they even made a game called Earth Defense Force, which actually has absolutely nothing to do with the Earth Defense Force I talked about in my last video, so yeah. How about that? Anyway, the beginning of the game opens with a scrolling text telling us about some unnamed planet where the ice caps have begun to melt, revealing an ancient dragon hidden beneath the ice. Upon discovering this, all of the planet's scientists come together in a combined effort to create clones of the dragon, and then create a sport around fighting them. Because what else are you going to do with a bunch of dragon clones? Never mind the fact that most of the world's continents will soon be submerged in water because... dragons, man! This is such big news that a whole new global government is formed. Just imagine every world leader finding out that there are dragons and just being like, no thanks, I'm out. Mind you, all of this information is completely unnecessary because none of it is ever brought up again. The entire story could have just been, dragons are real, guys. Go fight dragons. Dragons. And I would have been just as fine. I mean, just look at this little guy. As if I needed any reason to love him. Oh, what's this? This guy wants to help me train my new dragon? What a nice guy.
I mean, I can't think of any reason.
Holy crap.
That does not seem quite fair. I'm not really sure what to do here. Maybe if I...
Oh yeah, that did something. Uh-oh. So, a lot of stuff just happened there. First thoughts. What the f***, dude? That isn't training. That's murder. If anything, that's like the opposite of training. Or like a distant cousin, at best. This is something I kind of have a problem with in games. You know those battles at the beginning of RPGs that you literally can't win? Like, I understand it's meant to illustrate how your character is going to grow in strength throughout the course of a game, but come on. And I know a lot of you are thinking, but now you and your dragon have bonded and share a common enemy. But no. In Dragon Seeds, you fight to the death, and they want to make sure you know that right off the bat. That dragon is dead and gone forever. Not even 5 minutes into the game and you're already responsible for the death of an innocent dragon. A baby dragon. Rest now, nameless soldier. You won't be forgotten. Oh well, time to clone me a new dragon. Let's see. I can get something called a saurian, a winged saurian, something called natura, a wasp, a beetle, a crustacean. None of these are even dragons. Screw it. I'll just be a crustacean because I had crab cakes for lunch, so sure. After choosing whatever variety of dragon, we're instructed to decide upon a phrase by creating a combination of pre-chosen words. In total, you can make a little over 250 combinations. However, out of those 250 phrases, it's impossible to find one that doesn't sound like it was ripped straight from an over-emotional teenager's diary. The past is burning. Watch it burn. The wind is alive. So alive. The egg is crying. So sad. As for what these combinations actually do, well, supposedly the phrase you choose somehow determines your dragon's stats as he grows throughout the game. I can't quite explain why, but I actually kinda like this mechanic. It gives me that same kind of weird satisfaction I get from typing swear words into the Minecraft seed generator. I don't even know what a seed generator is, but I like to think that my own stupidity affects it somehow. After that, all that's left to do is choose a name, and I'm ready to go forth into the world and spread my dragon's seed. And as for my dragon, Well, I've decided to name him Krabby, because I am a comic genius! Alright, so I have my new dragon, and I'm ready to play. Now, I could go to the training center, but thanks to that amazing tutorial, I feel pretty confident I can handle a tournament. Krabby, no! Well, clearly, I should have chosen a better phrase. Let's see. The rock is beautiful. Well, that kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? Yes, of course. There's no way I can lose with the rock on my side. Hi, you must be a dragon sage. I'm your host, Art.
It doesn't matter what your name is!
So here's how the game works. Every turn you enter 2 commands telling your dragon to either use a sword, a special attack, or a reflector, or to move forward or backwards on the field. Swords can interrupt special attacks, but only at close range. Reflectors can reflect special attacks back at the caster, and a sword attack can break through reflectors, despite the fact that they look exactly like shields.
If only there was some way the game could have relayed this information to me.
Basically, what all this results in is a slightly more complex game than a game of paper, scissors, rock. Now, while this is far from an exciting mechanic, I'm not going to knock the game too much for it. Lots of games have used mechanics like this before, albeit typically with a better result. One thing I do have a problem with is why is this game so hard? I mean, what are my odds of winning? 1 in 3? The game is basically random at this point, so I feel like maybe I should be winning at least 1 match.
Oh, what's this? You can win easily? Lady, I might surprise you.
Yep, there we go. Alright, time to get serious.
Oh, a dragon's name may determine its destiny?
How about I name him Don't Die then? How about that? Maybe now I can make it through 1 match without dying? Oh, you're supposed to surrender before your dragon dies. That makes sense. Look at that, Don't Die. You're living up to your namesake already. I got a feeling we're gonna be together for a long time. Oh, come on! Of course, there are ways to improve your odds. You can buy stat boosts at the junk shop, buy stronger swords and reflectors at the regular shop, or just train your dragon at the training center by playing some mini games, which are sort of dumb. Oh! You can also fight a hologram of your dragon there and increase its stats that way. And it gives you a chance to actually learn how the game works without risking your dragon's life. And it was at this point that I learned how to beat the game. While dragon seeds might seem completely random in the beginning, eventually you'll figure out some patterns. As long as you maintain a slight stat edge over your opponent and stick to the same formula, you will be able to win pretty much every battle you enter. And unfortunately, this doesn't change throughout the entire game. Right up until the final boss, if you play on the defensive, you will beat the game without trouble. And after that, there really isn't much left to the game. No real rewards except for unlocking 2 new dragons. This, thing, and a door? What? Quite honestly, I could see this game becoming fairly intense going up against a friend's dragon, especially since you play for keeps, but frankly, there just isn't enough to the game itself to really stay interesting for any decent amount of time. After completing all of the tournaments and raising a dragon to its final stage, there was really no motivation to go back and raise more, especially because at the end of the game you can just go into the forest and catch random adult dragons.
The game's only real saving grace has gotta be its presentation. The quality of the music in this game far surpasses that of the actual gameplay. And I have to say I'm a fan of the Middle Eastern influenced anime art style. It's interesting. Not to mention it has that sort of PlayStation 1 charm. Like somehow all of these characters have managed to relay information to me, despite the fact that all they could possibly be saying is blah 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 blah.
So that's Dragon Seeds. Essentially, the game kind of acts like a Pokemon game, but without all the stuff that makes Pokemon good. And when you approach the game from that angle, it's actually kind of interesting. But if you're not into that sort of thing, I wouldn't necessarily recommend going out of your way to give this game a shot. Maybe if it fell from the sky directly into the PlayStation, then yeah, give it a shot. Or you could just go play a game of paper, scissors, rock. Either way. As for me, not even the proposition of being able to play as a door is enough to get me to go through the game twice. I really don't know why this game made such an impression on my younger self, but maybe I would have been just as fine without it. Well, that's it then. I guess it's time to go out and start making some new memories. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked the video, please leave a comment, like, or if you want to keep up with future videos, you can always subscribe, because I do plan on making more, just hopefully more frequently than once every 2 months. Sorry about that. Anyway, thanks for watching.